Live from Loudmouth Central, you're listening to Loudmouth Fisticuffs, hosted by combat sports analyst Joshua Furs and international ring announcer Mr. Live Worldwide Jeff Houston. Half sports show, half comedy show, and half conspiracy show. 100% in your face. So open your ears, shut your mouth, and have a good fucking time.
Well, you heard the man have a good fucking time, and that's exactly what we did this past weekend. If you didn't know, you should know the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame 2020 and 2021 ceremony was this past weekend, and all the festivities, alcohol, and fighting that you could take. And let me just say, we had our fair share. We woke up in places that we didn't know where we were. We had things stuck in places we didn't know we had.
Josh.
And I loved every minute of it. I just want to say that.
I know you did, but we got to follow some degree of protocol. And the best part of that protocol is that we introduced the fucking show. I am so sorry for my co-host. Obviously, he's got his priorities out of whack. You know, I mean,
I'm just excited.
He identifies as binary, non-binary, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
That's not true.
Please forgive. It's 100%. It's 100% true, guys. Again, here we are, post Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame, episode 51. I am back in the sanctuary of Loudmouth Central, my fortress of solitude. I was shoulder to shoulder for the very first time in Loudmouth Fisticuffs history with my partner in crime. I'm so glad. I mean, even though they had a good time, I'm glad I'm back here because you took up most of the fucking camera, man. I mean, you know, I only had my nice little sliver. I mean, he's a big guy. Don't get me wrong, but he was taken away. No, we're not 51 years old, Planet Hank. You should know better. This is episode number 51. We're going to talk all things Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about the BKFC tryouts. We're going to talk about the happenings that are happening on BKFC 18. This fight card is shaping up to be beyond epic. I mean, you know, I know we sound like a broken record and we say each fight card is epic, but this one is really pushing the term epic, pushing the word epic. I mean, it may not even
if it's true.
It's 100% true. Plus, we're also going to talk for a second about some very strange WWE layoffs that took place today that don't make a whole lot of sense and may actually, you know, a lot of people might be speculating that maybe Vince McMahon's flagship is ready for sale. A lot of people are speculating that as of right now. We'll get into that a little later. As always, I am Mr. Live Worldwide Jeff Houston, my partner in crime, Josh Furs. Josh, now we can get into the meat and the potatoes of everything because we've opened the show properly. I know that you're excited, but we got to let people know episode 51, post Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame. And obviously somebody doesn't believe in silencing their cell phones when we're live to the world.
Speaking of meat and potatoes, my zipper's down. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. Gosh.
Episode 51.
For those of you who just ate,
listen,
if you need to take a moment to go vomit, please be my guest.
Listen, Cinco Uno. Guys, I can't believe it. Episode 51. Again, we just shared our milestone. And I just want to take a second to thank you all for sharing it with us. I appreciate it so much. On a very serious note, I've said it a million times. We wouldn't be here without you. And I mean, that's it. Thank you. You know, there's not much a whole else to say. Thank you for the support. You know, you shares, your likes, your hugs, your kisses, your donations. Scott Burt, we appreciate everything that you've ever done for us.
Speaking of which, as you can see, I'm donning a new hat because my Kangol is in quarantine because for some reason, and I know what was happening, I actually saw him do it. Scott Burt had the temerity to break into my rental car. It was on his property, but it was still my rental car. Chose to break into my rental car and put on my Kangol hat, my awesome retro nostalgic Kangol hat, decided to put it on his decrepit head, snapped off a couple of pictures and was just about ready to push his button on that big red video record button, but I stopped him on that. Poor thing has been in quarantine for the past 48 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if Scott actually gave my Kangol hat COVID. We're all saying a prayer. If you guys can do it for just a moment, Scott Burt's decrepit head on my awesome hat. If we can all just say a prayer or maybe some kind words, good wishes, whatever you got for the Kangol hat over the next 24 hours, trust me, it's much appreciated. I mean, the Kangol hat has done nobody wrong. All he's tried to do is bring back a little something of the 90s to all of those. See, all of my hair is falling out. That's bullshit. As a matter of fact, I know that you've actually had some sprout up. That's the magic of the Kangol hat. But thank you, Scott. I may actually have to go give my Kangol hat a vaccination shot. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Mr. Burt, how are you, sir? Thanks for tuning in.
On a serious note, if there's one person who did beyond back-breaking work, pun completely intended, because this guy was literally in a chair, laid up several times.
He literally couldn't walk by the time
No,
we
he
left.
literally couldn't walk, but that's just showing how much work and effort and time he put in to make everything as awesome as it was this past weekend for the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame 2020 and 2021. The festivities were awesome. We did have a little bit of inclement weather at the first day, so we weren't able to see the car show that was set up, but that's all right because everything else panned out just fine. Everybody had a great time. I did stay at the palatial Maison de Bert, which is kind of, it's in between a thrift store, an antique store, and a museum. It's actually really fucking cool if you get the opportunity to ever see La Maison de Bert. It's pretty impressive, but he had me there for several days. We had a good time. Josh, your very first visit to Knuckletown, USA, and to breathe in all of that amazing history. Talk to us about it, man. Talk to us about, well, please, you sound like you're trying to smell your farts. Thank God we're not in the same room.
I said this, I said this past weekend. I say it now. It was definitely a breath of fresh air.
Hey, my shirt's good too. It's my dog.
Your shirt is good too. It definitely re-energized me. Being around, I made a post about this, but being around all the positive energy, all the fighters coming in to try to, make a name for themselves and do the tryouts. And
what's up, Mr. Red Rims? How you doing, brother?
Red Rims, my man. Get
just
ready.
A few days. Get just a few days to wait. Just a few more days, and you're in the thick of it, brother.
And
Thank you, Vince.
just being around all that old history and listening to Scott tell the stories about Sullivan and Muldoon, and
isn't he a fantastic storyteller?
He really is, and just touching this stuff and just being around it, and just it really is
there. Look at that.
Something else.
Look at that. Oh, our man is in the 30. He's in the 305. He's in the 305. Oh, man, Brian. I'm sure the pressure's mounting, but at the same point, man, I know you're a bare knuckle fighter, man. You were made for pressure. You're just on, you're just in a bigger arena. You're going to have a whole lot of people that are going to show a lot of interest in your fight coming up, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're looking at all the particulars, it's the most interesting fight. It's the most interesting fight. I mean, you're not dealing with any YouTubers, TikTokers, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're dealing with a legitimate MMA boxer and bare knuckler going up against a wide receiver making his fighting debut. As far as I'm concerned, that has more intrigue than the main, outside of the fact that, of course, that it's Floyd Money Mayweather. That's a tough one to beat.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited, man. Like I said, pulling for you, man. Pulling for home team, and
we all are, man. We got nothing but good vibes. Man. Nothing but good vibes, man. Bring home a win. Send that man back to some kind of gridiron. I don't know where, but just let him know. Leave the fighting to the fighters.
100%. And I mean, just to top it all off, it was again, getting back to this past weekend, it was a good time, and
it's a cool city, isn't it? Belfast, man. It's
something. It's other than the bitch you backed into my car that I had to deal with and press charges against, and yes, that's a real thing. That's a shoot.
That did happen.
My last day there in the wee hours of the morning in Belfast.
How you doing, Joe?
This drunk bitch hit my car while I was in bed asleep, and she took off, and now my driver's side door doesn't open. So
yeah, but your insurance is gonna pay more because it was a hit and run, because it was a hit and run.
Everything's fine. Yeah, everything's good. Just waiting on some information, but everything's good. I won't have to pay anything in my pocket. So other than that,
sucks that had to happen with your first experience there. I know it didn't leave a complete sour taste in your mouth because there was so much going on.
No,
and that's fixable.
No, I mean that's not the city of Belfast's fault that some drunk bitch hit
some drunk bitch's fault. Yep.
That's not going to ruin. It doesn't put a bad taste in my mouth or nothing like that. CNC in the house, Vince, Joe, Miggs.
CNC management. What's up, guys?
Everybody in the house. Guys, please do me a favor. You guys do it already so much. Please share, the drill.
Smash.
It pumps us up. It helps us a lot. Helps us spread the word. Helps us get more reach. And, just takes a second because you're just pressing the button. You're just pressing the button.
It's the easiest thing that you could. It's the easiest thing that you could possibly do for us. It helps us out. The more it helps us out, the more that we can help you out by giving you this incomprehensible, undeniably awesome content that we turn out every single week. And of course, then there's Josh.
And by the way, so obviously with the production this past weekend. Just so
you did a great job. You did a great job. It had a different look. We had multiple camera angles. We had a great setup. We were very fortunate about the setup over there at the temple, weren't we?
Oh yeah, I mean with the most of the lighting was already there with the backdrop, with
because all the lighting was pre-existing
behind us
because of the ring. So the ring was well lighted, so there was already a whole bunch of light, and it looked really great. It looked really great.
Well, we were really fortunate, that we kind of just fell into that, and we definitely took full advantage of it. Production values are going up even further, weeks to come. So just we got
some stuff in the works. We got some more stuff in the works. I mean, we can't stand still, just like anything else. We can't stand still. Nope. We've always got to find a way to make a show that much more enjoyable. I don't see how that's possible because, like I said, we've got the bipolar personalities between the two of us. You never know what the fuck's going to happen in Loudmouth Central, but at least the production value.
Wait. I'm not bipolar. I'm straight, Jeff.
I'm going to tell you, man, if you go between poles, that's fine. Nobody's going to judge you.
Listen, I'm hetero. I'm not worried about, hey, people that go both ways. I don't care, Jeff.
It's overcompensation, man. That's the first, denial, overcompensation.
I don't care.
See, look how angry he's getting.
I honestly don't. I'm not angry.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm actually the opposite of angry, whatever that is. I'm happy.
Your shoulders went back. Your nostrils are flaring. He's angry, folks. It's okay.
I just wanted to.
If you want, you can go join Scott Bird at his nudist resort. He's going to be there for the next week. So if you want to go ahead and show some hanging fruit in the vine, you totally can.
Should send an invoice to marketing department, Josh. Yes, send it to the marketing department is me. Send it to the billing department. That's Jeff. Billing department is Jeff. Josh is marketing department.
Yeah, the marketing department is the trash can.
Because I get the money. Jeff has to output the money. He's the one that has to pay the bills. Problem is, I don't give him access to the bank, to the account, so he just has to pay the bill. He just has to figure out ways to pay it.
So anyway, folks, now that we're talking about something, awesome, especially Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame, we had so much fun at all the different festivities that took place. And of course, the actual induction was really great. You know, I actually didn't know that it was Tommy. No, we're not talking about that. I actually didn't know that it was Tom Sconzo's birthday on induction
it was on the day of induction. It sure was.
I had no idea about that. He kept that very, very close to the chest. But then again, you know, I mean, you know, he's the Robert De Niro of the fight world. I swear to God, he looks like Robert De Niro's like, you know, long lost stepbrother or something. But, you know, good guy, you know, we had so many inductees, so many deserving inductees. Of course, we had Dave Feldman Jr. Of course, we had our awesome matchmaker, Nate Shook, Evan Zentar, our good buddy Howie Atherton ended up getting the Marie Bacchus Person of the Year award. Howie is just, you know, there's so many people that were inducted that are so instrumental to the day-and-day operation. And there were some inductees that were not able to join us. Unfortunately, you know, our dynamic commentary team that went into the Hall of Fame this year, Chris Lytle and Sean Wheelock, were not able to be there. Of course, you know, they had gigs and previous, you know, engagements, if you want to call it that. But, you know, they're going to get their ring. They're going to get their statue. They'll have their ring presentation, and that'll happen at a show or a future show. I'm sure Scott will probably set that up for the show in Hollywood on June 26th, which is coming up. But it was great. I mean, you know, and there was a lot of merchandise on display for Scott. So hopefully they were able to make some money, because every single dollar of everything sold went straight to go to the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame, the Bare Knuckle, and upkeep and maintain the barns. People don't understand how much money is involved and how much it takes to keep those barns in the condition that they're in. I mean, and there's also been so many renovations that have taken place. There was a lot of new stuff that I saw this year on the tour as opposed to 2 years ago. So that shows that, you know, they're progressing as far as the renovations and, you know, keeping the grounds as meticulous. Because you saw the grounds were ridiculously meticulous. They did take a little bit of a beating because of the tryouts. There actually were a couple of fence posts that were snapped. And then Scott, you know, I'm not going to apologize on behalf of anybody else, but, you know, that does suck because, you know, it's almost like you can't have anything nice. But that was actually, and I'm sure that you agree with me on this, Josh. I know that we don't agree on everything, thank God, but yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's that constant rot. There's the constant rot problem because that's got to be upkept the way it is. And Belfast, New York is not exactly the driest place in the world. They get a lot of rain over there. So, you know, and you know what happens with old wood? Old wood swells and it rots. So they constantly have to be on the lookout for that. But how about those tryouts, man? How about seeing those tryouts on the hallowed grounds of the Muldoon Sullivan training barns, which has never happened before? Never in the history of those barns being relocated to that area in Belfast. Never happened before. We saw also the building next door, the temple, where the Apollo Creed training ring was. We saw everybody, you know, trying out there. Of course, they had the punch meter, and I believe our biggest punch was around 950, 960. And and if you remember, our second biggest punch meter was actually from our own Leonard Garcia.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Leonard punched well over 800. Well over 800. And that's very impressive considering that Leonard is not a heavyweight.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Leonard knows the sweet spots of you know, how to make it count. And you know, he demonstrated that. And you know, someone was talking about the tryouts too, and like you said, everybody being in that one spot at one time, being on those hallowed grounds, everybody being, you know, where the Rocky ring was, in the barns, and just in that town, and like you said, it literally made history. I mean, I know that's probably like an overused statement, but history was indeed made. Who knows if it'll ever happen again? You know, to that extent,
I have a feeling it will.
I'm sure it probably will, but you know, especially the first, right? This was the first, and and how just how put together it was, and had the different groups all over the town, and it's like it just took over the entire town, and the town welcomed it. They loved Belfast really opened their arms up to us.
They really did,
and just cuddled us up like a little puppy, and just squeezed us, and just, we love you, and
okay. Thank you for the visual. You just basically murdered a small puppy. Thank you.
I did not.
You did. You open up your pecs and the poor little thing is crushed. Poor thing.
This is not true. That puppy is not.
I'm worried about that puppy now. I really am. That puppy
shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
That puppy could have been saved. It really could have, until the murderous Josh Furs got a hold of the puppy. Even though that it was not literal, but still, that puppy could have been saved, man. It really could have. Speaking of history in the making, today is history in the making, because today marks the 3rd anniversary of BKFC 1. That's right. It's been 3 years. I still can't believe that it's already been 3 years. June the 2nd, 2018. 3 years ago to the day, we had no fucking idea what was going to happen in Cheyenne, Wyoming, at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. I've never heard of a center having an ampersand in the middle between that Ice and Event Center. I mean, it could have been the Cheyenne Event Center or the Cheyenne Ice Center, but no, it's the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. But, well, that's true, because you remember you weren't there, but there was a mini putt-putt course out in front. So I guess that is another part of an additional event that could take place there. So
speaking of that,
wow, I knew you were going to bring that up.
Let's share this, because you're talking about this was on
look at that hair. Look at that hair. It's gone.
What's up, everybody? This is your favorite ring announcer, Jeff Houston, coming to you live from inside the squared circle here at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. Jovial. We are here at rehearsals, and as you can see, I am inside. Look at this. This is called the Squared Circle. It is the first of its kind. There's my buddy Sean Wheelock. Say what's up, Sean.
I suck on that camera.
Oh, my goodness. This is definitely a first for me. This kind of ring, I have never seen a fighting platform like this before. I can't tell you how excited I am. We're hours away from going live worldwide on pay-per-view, and it's going to be 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check us out live on pay-per-view. Tickets are available for purchase at bareknuckle.tv. I'm serious, guys. Not a loss for words. I've actually got too many words to actually describe what's about to go down here tonight. And I am just honored to be a part of history in the making. That is going to be one of the most frequent terms tonight, but I'm going to tell you it's appropriate. History in the making. The gloves come off, and it's time to knuckle up. I am so excited, and you should be too. Well, guys, that's about it. We got rehearsals coming up, but I will tell you what, the squared circle is going to be on fire like a Roman candle on the 4th of July. So we will see you live on pay-per-view tonight. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Now, I know that was 3 years ago, but damn, I do a good promo. I still do a good promo, but thank God that the platinum hair is gone. And apparently not gratefully forgotten, because I keep getting reminders of it here, there, and the weirdest possible places. I still remember what MMAfighting.com said about me. They said that I look like the ring announcer looks like Brian Bostwick in the year 3300. Not like that one made me laugh. Or some mark on a chat forum said, "Why did BKFC decide to hire the Hunger Games announcer?" That was funny. And speaking of which, the very jacket that I wore at BKFC 1, I donated to the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame. I brought that in on Thursday. I felt that it would serve its purpose much better in the Hall of Fame rather than just collecting dust in my closet. Get
a shout out to Tony too. Tony's a big fan of the show, and he actually was at the tryouts. And yeah. And he just kind of I just happened to run into him, and just really cool dude. So
We had quite a few of the fighters at the tryouts come up to us and say how much they enjoy Loudmouth Fisticuffs. And when you meet someone for the first time and they say that they appreciate your work like that, especially since we're just bullshitting around, we really don't know what the fuck we're doing. It's that much appreciated. I mean, Josh has the grasp on the production, but as far as the show content, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Not at all. We don't talk about it at all. We don't discuss it. There is no such thing as a format when it comes to Loudmouth Fisticuffs. It's completely from the cuff.
Isn't he good with the analogies, Bear? Like that's all I hear is these analogies. The same blood and the same mud and the Roman candle on the 4th of July. And what's the other one you say a lot, Jeff? Well, now he's upset.
I'm not upset. I'm getting old. I'm thinking. I'm not upset. I don't know which one I say. I've got a plethora of them. Would you say that I would have a plethora of pinatas? What?
Maybe.
A plethora.
All you hear is his shoes suck. Let's see.
Oh, God, Brad, don't fucking start. God, so self-entitled now that you decided to buy a pair. Hold on. He decided to buy a pair of Scott's shoes. And now that he's got used shoes, he thinks he's got juice. You think you got juice in the game. I'm here to tell you something, Brad. You ain't got shit except pieces of shit on your feet that used to belong to Scott Burt. Regrettably, now they belong to you. Worst money spent. You want to do those shoes justice? Burn them. Burn them. My shoes do not suck. You bought Scott's shoes, so therefore you're a wannabe. Listen, on top of that, you're a wannabe.
Listen, Brad, you should take a picture of those shoes.
Oh, Barry, you got the reference. Good, good. I was hoping somebody would have gotten that reference. You got the juice now.
Brad, you should take a picture of those shoes and make a post every day and tag Jeff every day. So every day he wakes up, every day he opens up his Facebook, there's a tag and it's a picture of those shoes. You should do it.
Well, it's like what I said.
30 days, 30 days of tagging Jeff Houston with those shoes. You should
go ahead and do 30 days of red shoes. I don't give a fuck. I mean, supposed to, like I told you before, Brad, am I supposed to be impressed with recycled crap? If you decide to take a dump and call them shoes, that's your business. That's not my business. Okay. I've got to pay. All right. I wear $500 leather boots. All right. Scott hasn't spent that much on all of those shoes combined. I promise you that. So
you're right. He spends it on the museum that is his house. That's where all his money goes.
Thank you, Bear. We appreciate it, man. Like I said, we're off the rails every day of the week and twice on Sunday, but we do our best to try to bring you something that maybe that you can understand. And even if you don't fucking understand, who gives a fuck? It's all fun and games.
It's all bullshit. Anyway.
It really is. It really is. There's an insane amount of bullshit that actually takes place here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bullshit. I mean, we do. What's this? Hey, Brad, make sure you bring back Houston's suit jacket down to the Hall of Fame.
You're fine. Your house. I don't give a fuck what you do with it. I don't give a fuck what you do with it now that it's there. I don't care. I don't care. I had to get rid of my worst jacket, and it just seems that, unfortunately, the first one just happened to be the worst. Oh my God. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, there's no rivalry going on here. I know that that's what it seems, but it's all in good fun. It's called entertainment. We certainly try to be entertaining. It's just Scott really tries to be, I actually found, I want to share this with everybody this is actually what Scott is. I wouldn't call Scott a wannabe. There's actually a specific term that I looked up, and it's called an epigone. And an epigone is a less distinguished follower or imitator of someone. So guess what, Scott? You're an epigone. You're not a wannabe, because a wannabe at least has some degree of that. So therefore, where can I buy my own Jordan hat, Josh? Like I said, Scott, fuck you on the fact that my poor hat is in quarantine. You may have given my hat COVID. You got a lot to answer for, sir. You're not supposed to open the door of a rental car.
You can buy the hat on Wish.com.
Belong to you. It may have been on your property, but it's my fucking rental car.
Wish.com, Scott. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, sure. You ain't got shit. You ain't got the juice.
You can find that Kangol on Wish.com.
You ain't got the juice. But anyway, of course, we
$3 shipping.
Of course, it was an epic episode number 50. We were only supposed to have 3 guests. We had a 4th. We had Lorenzo Hunt, who was fucking unbelievable. So witty, so funny, but also so to the point. So
just unpredictable too. Like it just comes.
Dude, he's
just comes out of nowhere.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, he's a fucking tornado, is what he does. You never know what kind of path he's gonna have destruction in. You have no idea where the fuck that he's going. I mean, absolutely fucking crazy. And then, of course, after that, we had our good friend, the GOAT, Elvin Brito. Yeah. And Elvin is well spoken, but he's so much more. He's so much lighter spoken. He makes his point very quickly, but he's a fast talker. He's a good talker. He's a really great guy, and he really has improved.
Intelligent talker. He's
very well spoken. He's very eloquent. He's very well spoken. But what he's also done is that he's also changed the lives for some of the bare knuckle fighters as far as their training regiments as they join him down there in Manaubo, Puerto Rico. I mean, as you remember, our next guest who was on there, Brandon Lambert, actually presented the trainer award to El Bandito for helping him turn his game around. And I can't wait to see what his game looks like moving forward but Brandon also opened up to us a little bit, man. He had time on the couch. And even though that there was no couch to lie on, he had time on the couch and telling us one of the main reasons why he's doing what he's doing. And it's not just for survival. It's to get his life affairs in order and to get his personal life back on basically back at a point to where he's smiling again. It really made me feel for him, man. I mean, so hopefully he'll get that turned around. He'll have a great next fight, and then we'll see the fighter that we wanted to see the first time out. He said, I'm done with the goofballing in the ring. I may do all the goofballing outside of the ring, but as far as that, I'm done with that.
How many Nagas does it take to make an MJ hat, Josh?
On Naga hide too. Wow. How does it feel knowing that there is an adult 61 years old that has no sense of humor? 61 years and you couldn't find a sense of humor. But I got you, Scott, on this one. Something happened on this trip that has never happened to you in the 61 years that you've been around there, man. Something happened when I was driving back from. I'm trying to think. It was the night before. It was the night before the induction ceremony. I was driving back. It was about 2:00 in the morning, and I was driving. And as you know, going to Scott's house is very wooded. It's very forested in certain areas as you're driving there because a lot of woods, a lot of wildlife. I saw something on the road, and I didn't know what it was, so I flashed my lights at it. Whoa, where'd you go?
We're here.
Sorry about that. Had something a little messed up. Yeah. See, he's pissed off about it. Yeah, that's right. He knows what I'm talking about. I flashed my lights. I honked my horn, whatever it was, moved to the side. And then as I drove by, it was a fucking black bear. I shit you not. I saw a black bear, and that is something that Scott has yet to see in that area. So my second fucking visit to Belfast, and I see something that you haven't seen in 61 years. 61 years. Brad, you want to talk about blurred? I'm going to tell you something, man. You look like a piece of shit, so you definitely need to be more blurred. I'm not just fucking with you, man. We're having fun. No, there was a fucking black bear literally bounding next to the fucking car, and Scott has not seen it. So apparently Belfast has embraced me more than you.
Is it like a badge of honor or something? I don't understand.
Hell yeah, we're right here proud. Right here proud.
That you saw a bear?
That Scott didn't.
Oh.
Scott has lived there 61 years and he's never seen one. He's lived there his entire life and he's never seen one driving. I did. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If it was, that is somebody who is in desperate need of an electrolysis or whatever, what the fuck you call it. A hair electrolysis. Thank you. A hair remover. Because that girl, let me tell you something. She had some Sasquatch going on if that was the case. We're talking major Sasquatch. But no, that was actually pretty cool. But we
natural.
Well, that's a little bit more than au natural. That's like I haven't shaved since 1960. And I was born in 1959. Oh my God, that doesn't make any sense. Oh my God.
No.
But let's also talk about the awesome bonfire parties that we had at Maison de Bert. They've got that great fire pit right out in the backyard, and it attracted at one point or another almost everybody that had shown up for the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame within the 3 nights that we had the bonfire parties. We had everybody there.
I just love Scott. Just one word, just bitch.
Yeah, he was pissed. I'm telling you, he was pissed, and he should be. I have one up on him. I have something up on him.
I don't know why it bothers you, Scott. I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah. But the parties were good.
Funny.
But the parties were good. Judy, of course, was a very gracious hostess. You know, I mean, there was food everywhere.
Judy was awesome.
Yeah, there was an awesome conversation. People were filtering in throughout, so it was really great. And unfortunately, you missed it on Sunday, which was really cool. Usually, we have some kind of post festivity. The last time we were over at Pollywog Holler in 2019, which is a really cool hippie commune. Had a lot of fun there. But this time around, I don't. No. I don't dislike you. I don't dislike you, Brad. I dislike what you say. Okay, you're trying to be cool and you're falling flat on your ass. So that's what's going on. He's just
fucking with you. He's not serious. He's just messing with you.
Josh, I don't need you to be there to be. I don't need you to be Brad Williams' safe space.
It's not. I'm not. It's not. That's not what this is.
He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it. Here's my PC.
That's not what it is.
Here's my participation trophy. Fuck you, motherfucker. Okay.
DJ Tony, what's up, man? Mike, what's up?
Our DJ, BKFC DJ, our official BKFC DJ. Proud to say our BKFC DJ because he's got our cues down cold turkey. Cold fucking turkey. But let me get back to what, and then we'll let you go.
Keep telling the story. Keep telling the story.
And of course, the day after, we had a different festivity this year for the 2020 and 2021 wrap up. We went out to Rock City, which is just outside of Olean, New York. Very fucking cool town. One of those really cool, forest towns that just has that incredible small town charm. Really fucking cool, Olean. But it's right outside, and it was called Rock City. And it's all these old rock formations, millions of years old. Very, very cool stuff. Got the opportunity to hang out with Scott, Bill Clancy and his wife. Wayne Spinola was there. We were just we really did have a great time. And then we had some others join us. We had a nice barbecue and another bonfire. Bonfires
close on for Scott this time, right?
Huh?
Close on for Scott this time, right? Close on for Scott.
Well, we had a barbecue, so that means we had to stomach food. So obviously.
Oh, I'm just wondering.
Obviously, you think I'd be in the same zip code if he decided to go ahead and go commando? Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that. That's the stuff that nightmares are made out of. You want to talk about people who are sitting on the couches and talking about repressed memories.
You know what? Damn, the mausoleum.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get to see the mausoleum.
I did. That was one of the last things that I saw before I left. It was closed up because there's still some renovations that are taking place on the inside. But as far as the mausoleum, obviously, it's the biggest attraction at the cemetery. I mean, that just shows how big Scott's head is, of course. Of course, you have to have the biggest. You have to have the best. You have to have the one that has its own little park, its own little bench area and everything. Wolves howling, concrete wolves lining the stairs howling.
Got its own like mini parking lot attached to it.
Dude, I think that's yet to be. I think that's on the to-do list for him. Trust me.
Reserved for Scott Burt parking space.
Yeah, even though he's dead. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, he's dead. Yeah, no, but it's still for him if he ever chooses to come back, because apparently his ego's so big he might come back. No, it was cool.
I did miss that. I wish I would have.
No, it was cool. He says that we will, next time that we're there, we'll definitely have the shot. He wanted to have a shot with us around there and everything, and we'll definitely do that. But we got to make sure that if we do have the shot, that it's that John L. Sullivan whiskey that you're carrying around. It's got to be appropriate. And just across from him was the Muldoon family plot. Now William Muldoon was not buried there, but the Muldoon family plot was just adjacent to.
Where's Sullivan buried at?
You're gonna have to ask Scott that. I forget. Scott's our resident historian. Everything John L.
Where's Sullivan buried at?
So you got to ask him.
I know he's here. I know he's trying to write out like a novel response.
We didn't get to do the bar pulling contest because, unfortunately, of weather. Oh, he's in Boston. No, Boston. He meant Boston.
Boston. Okay.
He meant Boston. He boat. Yeah, Boston. Yeah, he meant Boston. That's where he's buried.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, well, there were a couple of things that we had to forego because of inclement weather. But boy, did it sure turn out nice when I left. I was like 10 o'clock on Monday. It was like 63 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Oh, my God. I was like, where was that weather for the weekend? But I am glad that it did turn out the way that it did for Rock City, because it wasn't bright. It wasn't sunny. It was just that perfect, overcast weather that was really good for a barbecue, because you didn't have to worry about your ass getting burned off while you're outside. So it was really nice. He said he's been there to the burial site of John L. Sullivan. I definitely got to make that a stop when I pass through Beantown.
Scott's next step is to actually exhume the body of John L. Sullivan
and put it in the mausoleum. And put it in the mausoleum. His ego's so big, he'd probably put it right next to him. He's like, I'm buried right next to him. Yep. He's yes. You're gonna go.
Admit it. If it was a possibility, you would do it. Admit it.
Think about it, man. You're going from bare knuckle historian to bare knuckle grave robber. See?
Well, no, I don't mean grave rob. I mean like doing it legit. But I'm just saying, like, somehow get like the permission of the family or whatever, whoever the hell is in. I don't even know who would be in charge of that now. I assume there's got to be like
whoever a surviving heir is. Whoever a surviving heir would be. Yeah.
Like, well, here's what we want to do. I run the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame in Belfast, and we have John L. Sullivan. What we want to do, we want to put him back in the barn where he trained with Muldoon.
Well, either the barn or the cemetery. Whoever has the shovel.
I know he'd do it.
Well,
Scott,
obviously, it's obviously not. It's not going to be Scott. He's got such a bad back. He's all doped up on hydrocodone, so it won't be Scott who had the shovel.
Do it, Scott.
I'm fucking around with you, Scott. You do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it. We're daring you.
Do it.
I triple dog dare you.
People around the world.
That's who's in charge. Bears chiming in. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. But no, all seriousness, I got Beck's DNA. Oh, that's right. You do. You got the tooth.
Oh yeah, you sure do.
You got the tooth. You got the tooth. It's a very small tooth, but it's still.
See you guys in Miami. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So.
Well, I will be. I don't know if you're going to be there.
No, I will be. I'll be.
Oh,
there.
You will be.
Yeah, I'm actually. Matter of fact, as soon as we get off this, I'm finishing up. I had to buy my plane tickets. A little fucking weird, but yeah,
it's all about buying at the right time. All buying at the right time. It's weird about that. Always buy them in the middle of the week, like around Wednesday is the best day to buy them.
Yeah, so like I had to do two different airlines to get the best price and the best time.
You you do that through Expedia, and you got to get use two different air. I have to do that sometimes. I'm doing that. That's actually what I'm doing for Miami. I had to get one way there via American, and on the way back via United.
I'm doing JetBlue to get there.
Fuck that.
American to get back. JetBlue's fine. There's nothing wrong with JetBlue.
I don't like JetBlue. They don't have a good mileage incentive program.
Oh my God.
Hey, the mileage incentive program is the reason that I haven't paid for the last six flights I've had.
Well, that's probably because too. I mean, JetBlue. They're only like East Coast. They don't really go anywhere else, right?
Well, yeah.
So I mean, it's not like you're not going to go to like Italy on JetBlue.
Oh no. It's not an extended route. Oh yes,
Were the Barnes what you thought they would be, Josh? Yes.
And you got to see, of course, the Police Gazette world offices.
Yep, we saw that too. Man, it was something. The vault, we got to go into the vault in there,
the cyanide vault,
and it's again, it's hard to put into words. It's just the taking in everything and the smells. I know it sounds weird, but
it's like stepping through the gold wing door of a DeLorean, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like the smell of the old wood, and you can almost just, I don't know, just you could just feel it. Just feel the energy.
It's in your pores. It's in your veins.
Pores. I mean, you really could. It's just, I hate saying the same thing over and over because I'm not quite sure how to explain it. But it's just, I don't know how else to explain it. It was awesome.
It was
awesome.
As were the tryouts. We had bare knuckle hopefuls and some impressive standouts that were there that I believe that are going to probably help usher in, you keep seeing these different waves of generations of fighters coming in look who we've gotten from the tryouts themselves. I mean, if we didn't have the tryouts, we may have never found our Lorenzo Hunt. There are so many people that have tried out that we may never had found them if they hadn't held these all too important tryouts.
Right.
We never said that you were full of crap, Scott. It's just that when somebody sells something like that, you're expecting a hole in a story or something to be happening. And yep, Bear, you were number 63. I actually remember that. I tried to keep as close track to everybody that I possibly could. But you know what was really fucking cool, Josh, is that the bare knuckle alumni that showed up rolled up their sleeves and helped out with the training. And they absolutely did not. They could have just been a guest there, for the Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame and for the inductions. But no, they rolled up their sleeves and they got involved. Yeah. Everybody got involved. Lorenzo got involved. Tom Schoaf, Leonard Garcia, Reggie Barnett, all of them, Brandon Lambert, El Bandito, Elvin Brion. I mean, they all got involved with different parts of that. Plus, also we saw some pretty cool sparring moments during episode number 50. We actually saw the guys get into the Apollo Creed training ring and give us a little show.
Yeah, and we got a little practically a private training session with Bret Hart and Joey Beltran. That was cool.
That was cool, man. Now that's how a couple should work out their differences.
That's what I'm saying.
That's our power. Course, that's our power couple right there.
In the Apollo, the Apollo gym, the Apollo Creed ring, Tom Schoaf and Leonard Garcia, and seeing them and just listening to them explain the things, and hearing Leonard Garcia talk about, if you're fucking here worried about breaking your hands, fucking leave. If you're worried about this, leave. If you're worried about that, get back in the car.
If you're worried, bye-bye.
And it was it was just pretty cool. Like I said, the energy, the atmosphere, and everything was just pure positive energy, man. It was infectious.
You won't forget it, will you, Josh?
No.
That's permanent memories right there.
Permanent fucking memories. And then, afterwards, I had a pretty extensive conversation with Leonard Garcia, the bad boy, freaking
Isn't he fucking cool?
MMA, just
Leonard
legend,
is so
just
fucking
MMA royalty, combat sports royalty. Like he's part of that. I think he's just part of that class, man.
Dude,
just,
Leonard was probably as solid a gatekeeper as there ever was.
Oh man. And just super, super nice dude. Like, I've met some of these people, and I know you have too, Jeff. Like some of these guys and people who, whether it's fighters or just part of the crew or whatever, people that work in these, more prominent promotions, UFC, whatever, and like WWE and people like that. Like, they're not all that's cracked up to be. They're kind of dickheads, right? For what it is, and when you meet somebody like Leonard who has been there and done it, and man, he's
approachable.
He's just super fucking approachable, and he doesn't. I never felt I never felt him. Got the impression from him like, man, this guy's fucking beneath me. I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation with him. I don't know who the fuck he is.
Not at all.
Right?
He's happy to talk to you.
Whereas, guys like I 100%, I've approached guys from like UFC or WWE, and they have totally are just like, yeah, I don't fucking know who you are. You're not going to do anything for me. But
well, because
the way it is.
You might as well. I mean, they're the way that they're thinking about it. You might as well be paying them for their time. I'm not going to give you anything unless you're paying me. It's Hulk Hogan syndrome all the fuck over. You want to talk to me, you got to pay me.
Yeah, that's right, Bear. The whole BK community is incredible, and I've said that before too on numerous occasions. Just from covering, being involved in pro wrestling and covering MMA, and now covering bare knuckle. It's different, man. It is a different community. It's a different vibe. It really does have like a family atmosphere. And again, I know that probably sounds corny as fuck, but it's true. It really is true. Like we see each other, like some of these guys I don't see for months or weeks or years at a time. And it's like you just pick right up, right where you left off. Like, hey, what's up, man? I fucking see.
Oh, like that, like no time has passed.
Like no time has passed, and everybody's just super friendly, and
there's no lapse of time between conversations. Never,
yeah, like I said, I know that sounds corny as fuck, man, but it really is. It's different.
It's true.
It's just different.
It's true. It's true. All right, guys, we're gonna switch gears for a second, and we're gonna talk about something that's kind of upsetting me, and I know it's upsetting a lot of people as well. We're going to switch gears from bare knuckle to the WWE, and we're going to talk about some fucked up releases that took place.
Real quick, Jeff, before and people tuning in, we will come back because I do want to talk about some of the fights that were announced for 18 and 19. Yeah,
we will. We'll circle back around to that, no problem. It's just I want to take a moment and I want to talk about what I saw today. And it just makes me believe that this company is not only losing touch, but it's on the precipice of being sold. I really believe that it's just a couple of months, if not even a year away from being sold to somebody. I wouldn't be even surprised if Disney decided to pick it up and such. And then we've got, politically correct safe space violence, which nobody wants to fucking see.
It's almost there now.
It practically is. But yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. Politically correct safe space violence, which is a contradiction of terms in any possible way. But check this out, guys. Fucking Braun Strowman, the guy who has been literally carrying the company on his back during COVID. How do they say thank you to those turbulent times? They fucking let him go. Aleister Black, they were in the middle of repackaging him.
He just came back, right? Like, he literally just came back.
He hasn't even come back yet.
He hasn't even come back. Okay.
They're in the middle of repackaging him. They were already doing promos. They were already doing, pre-release promos, and they were looking good. And they let him go. They let Lana go. Unfortunately, that one, I hate to say it, kind of makes a little bit of sense because she really wasn't finding any place. But then again, that could be but it's not necessarily always 100% the talent. I think it's more creative. Failed to find it out.
I thought it was a matter of time anyway, since Rusev has been gone, and he's in AEW. It's just usually when you have a couple like that, and one of them leaves, it's usually a matter of time.
The juice leaves
the
with
other
them.
one goes.
The juice leaves with them because it's part of being that couple that made them, that popular and such. So, I mean, when Lana was with Rusev, when Rusev was doing the Bulgarian Brute thing, oh man, that was my favorite. That was my favorite. She did a really good job. What did the Rock call her? Say, stop looking like a Soviet streetwalker.
Yeah. It's funny you say that though, because I do think that they're both of their high points in their career was together. And I think
absolutely. Well, no, not anymore. Not anymore. Now Rusev is a AEW TNT champion already, and
but I don't know if. I don't know. I mean, I know he's strapped.
Well, hold on. Let me finish the releases. Murphy was released, and he was a fantastic. Oh my God, fantastic fucking talent. It's just he got repackaged with Seth Rollins, and that fucking killed it. Ruby Riott and Santana Garrett. Santana Garrett, third generation wrestler, and I'm very surprised at that one. Ruby Riott, Ruby Riott was another one who was part of the Riot Squad. And the Riot Squad during the NXT time was actually pretty cool. But once that broke up, yet again, creative having an issue. And that's the issue. The issue is not with they'll put it on the wrestlers. They'll put it on the wrestlers saying that they're the problem when it's not their problem. It's the problem with creative because creative is not creative enough.
Right.
Because they feel that they have to keep repackaging these wrestlers in order to stay relevant when in fact what you're doing is fucking killing them.
Right.
But then again, now there's somewhere for them to go. And here's something interesting. If he could fight, what a feather in the cap it would be to BKFC to have Braun Strowman on. Well, if he can fight. Once again,
happening.
Well, I don't know because the guy's a former strongman, and a lot of strongmen have
strongman. That's not a fighter.
I know it's not, but we have seen strongmen that have.
I used to fucking lift weights like crazy. I would never think, I used to be able to bench press 315. I think I can get in there and fight.
Look at Pujanowski. Perfect example. Look at Pujanowski, man. I mean, he is the feather in the cap of KSW and has had some actually pretty good fights. So it's not an impossibility. How he fares up in bare knuckle, I'm not too sure. But the guy's a legitimate 6'8". The guy's a legitimate 385 pounds, and the guy's a legitimate badass. So I don't know how he would fare up in a bare knuckle thing.
I mean, it would be an attraction.
He's an attraction and an imposing figure, which means money can be made. I mean, obviously, we know that he's going to go to AEW. Obviously, he's going to have a future there. But it'd just be interesting for someone like that because he definitely would fit the mold. But then again, will he fit the fighter's mold? He can at least fit the mold cosmetically for BKFC. But does he actually... Cosmetically, yes. But does he fit the fighter's mold for BKFC?
Could you fucking imagine him somehow? I mean, I know it really couldn't be done, but... Could you just fucking imagine, BKFC 22 main event, fucking, I don't know, for shits and giggles, because he's talked about it before too. You got Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman. Like all of a sudden you're sitting there and you hear his theme music. Yeah. And he fucking comes walking down. He's like,
Oh, no. I mean, that would be good, but why the fuck does Bobby Lashley need to go anywhere? He's the fucking WWE champion. He's not going anywhere. He's
talked about bare knuckle though.
He has talked about it, but he's too much. He's got a good run right now. So I don't see him stepping into the bare knuckle squared circle anytime soon. But Braun Strowman, at least from that vantage point, would be interesting. It would be interesting to see something like that. But it just goes back to tell you, man, WWE, I think that they're just, I think that we're approaching the days of WWE as the final days of WCW, where the product just gets worse and worse and worse.
I was reading some stuff, and you might have even seen the same thing, where they were talking about a couple different, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like supermarks, people who have been following the sport for a long time think that the people that they're letting go are the people who they had just signed to extremely lucrative contracts, like right before the pandemic started, right? So they're getting rid of some of these, more higher cost.
What, to save money?
Well, I don't know necessarily to save money, but like you were saying, to possibly prime it so they can sell, prime it for a sell-off to get rid of the bigger contracts.
Dude, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall for the WWE to be sold. Vince doesn't care like he doesn't care like he used to. And it's obvious. It shows in the product. It shows in the product that he doesn't care like he does. Obviously Vince makes all the decisions and such, but I think that he's starting to pass the buck a little bit more than he used to, because some of these decisions, I'm sorry, a fucking zombie lumberjack match does not sound like fucking Vince McMahon.
That was horse shit.
I know that. I can guarantee you that's not the brainchild.
I'm probably in agreement with you on that, Bear.
Well, Bear, it's one of those things that still it
would be cool to see.
Let
me make sure I'm clear. It would be cool to see. Do I actually think Braun could do anything? No. But it would be cool as shit to see.
It's an intriguing if. It's an intriguing if.
Yeah.
No, I know that there's so much more to it than that, but it's an intriguing if, because what if? What if? I mean, that's an imposing character, and that's a marketable character on top of that, especially if he can. Law of averages say no. Law of averages say no because he has no background, because he has no fighting background at all. But then again, we've also seen people come in with no fighting background and have done pretty good. We have. 100%. I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible. Is it?
There says be cool. Watch him spit teeth.
Well. Yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. But oh my, but Mr. Brito,
100%.
No, they
100%.
are. They're outstanding athletes. In fact, they're actually more athletic in this day and age than they were 20, 30 years ago. But the problem is that they all look alike now. There's nothing.
100%. They're outstanding athletes, and like I said, coming from that world.
No, you have to be. You have to be, especially at this day and age.
It does not, because there are some. Let me tell you what. There are some pro wrestlers, because I dealt with them, who really thought because, they knew how to chain wrestle and do some headlock takeovers and some wrist locks. They thought that they were legit badasses, and they weren't, right? Don't get me wrong. There are some that are, there are a handful of people that, can really take care of themselves, and they're like, that are, shoots. We call them shooters, and they could take care of themselves, but most of them can't. I don't think it equates to, it would look good. Just going back to Braun, it would look cool. The aesthetics of somebody like him coming in.
The aesthetics are exactly what you would want.
It would look cool.
But the final product
actually be.
But the final product, yeah.
Like if you put him in there with somebody who was actually a trained professional fighter, it probably wouldn't look good.
Timber is what's going to.
It wouldn't look good at all. It wouldn't probably be competitive, but
it's an intriguing what if, and that's how 100%. I leave it there. Elvin, I take nothing away
100%.
From these guys as athletes, but professional wrestling and bare knuckle fighting are at opposite ends of the spectrum. So that's just the way that it is.
It's just different. I mean, it is. It's a lot of work, and
seriously, it's all about technique. You yourself as a bare knuckle fighter, so that it's nothing but technique, and you can't be inexperienced in the end, especially if you want to move forward. See, he totally agrees, and he should. All right, let's get away from about the negative on the unfortunate let goes that were given the best of luck in their future endeavors bullshit. And let's move on to the absolutely most stacked card in the history of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, celebrating its third year today. BKFC 18, another fight just announced. And this one is an exciting one. Charissa Segala stepping back into the squared circle against the debuting MMA sensation Pearl fucking Gonzalez.
That's gonna be good.
Wow, that's interesting, man. That's got a lot of intrigue for me because we definitely know that Charissa can weather the storm.
What else is on that card? Jake Boswick, Julian Lane.
Ooh,
that's gonna be fucking good.
Ooh,
that's gonna be good.
Man,
Travis Thompson, Jared Grant.
And dude, that's at 100.
That's gonna be fucking good.
And I think that's gonna be around 175 pounds for that. So Julian's going down a couple pounds.
Yeah, I believe it is 75. I need to double check that. I think you're right.
I've already double checked it, so it's all right. But there's another one that's on the card that's going to be interesting that features two guys that aren't the kind to back down. So I wonder what kind of stalemate we're going to see, if any. I'm talking about Kid Gotti, Jared Grant against fucking Travis the Animal Thompson.
That's going to be something.
That could be fight of the night.
I'm telling you, let me tell you what. I mean, because Bostwick and Lane also has a potential, I think, to be a fucking savage, just fucking blood everywhere.
Look at both of these guys. Both of these guys. I mean, let me bang, bro, against Mr. First BKFC fighter to ever go 6th round. It's an interesting matchup, man. It's an interesting.
No, there's a couple fights on there that I think are fight of the night potential, and I just I can't even fucking wait.
And then, of course, 4 world titles.
Yeah,
will be 4 world titles. 2 defended, 2 inaugural.
Brand new.
Of course, we're talking about Yuli Diaz and Thiago Alves, Miami versus Coconut Creek. That's going to be a very, very interesting tango right there at 175 pounds. Then, of course, we've got Hector Lombard and Joe Riggs at 205 pounds. And then we've got the defending champion, Luis Baboon Palomino, going up against the returning Tyler Goodjohn, El Tornado, at 155 pounds. And then the big one, guys, the one that, in my opinion, I think the company is kind of circling itself around and really trying to make the World Heavyweight Championship mean something again,
as they should,
in combat sports. And I you know what? I think that this is just the resurgence that we were looking for. It's just not going to take place in boxing the way that we wanted. It's going to happen in bare knuckle now. And we're going to see Sam Shoemaker, the number 1 contender, go up against the defending champ, Joey Beltran, who, of course, was on hand at the Hall of Fame. He was for his induction. And, he very, very humble guy, very, very funny guy on top of that, but very appreciative of the history behind the Police Gazette belt. And, of course, very appreciative about the BKFC World Heavyweight title itself.
Might I also say, too, just my observance of Joey, he looked very, very good condition. Very, very.
He was a little trimmer. He was a little trimmer than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, a little trimmer than normal. Very fit. He was moving around really fucking good. I mean, as he always does. It's not like he doesn't move around good at all.
No, we're not saying he's fucking lazy. He's a fucking heavyweight champion. He just looked
good. I thought everything I was just kind of watching him hit the mitts, and
well, he should look good. He's the fucking heavyweight champion of the world.
Of course he should.
Dude, isn't that awesome to say? That's one of my favorite things to say. He literally is. He's the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, so like he's man, oh man, he's coming in. I don't know, man. He was looking good. He's looking good.
I think Sam's going to have his hands full. Even though that Sam looked amazing against Bobo O'Bannon, I finally saw the Sam Shoemaker that I wanted to see. I wanted to see the Hillbilly Hammer pull the trigger, and he did. Oh, Beltran is a fun. Yes, yeah. Beltran is one of those guys who's super hard to fucking read. He's super hard to fucking read because he's so calm. He's so collected.
I'll tell you this, and this is only because, I just doing interviews kind of throughout the last few years with Joey, and, talking to him before and after almost every fight. And seeing how his confidence has, when he first got to BKFC, he was in one place, and now he's an entirely different fucking stratosphere. Just
Oh, dude, he looks different. He looks like a different man
like
from 3 years ago today.
yeah, like the way he
different-
approaches things, his confidence, his mentality. He really has a true championship mentality, I think. And on the flip side of that,
because he knows that the hard part is holding on to it. He got it.
Right.
Now comes the hardest part about being that champion, having that championship attitude is holding on to it, which he did something that John L. Sullivan never did.
Never did. And the flip side of that,
he defended that title.
Sam
John
Shoemaker
Sullivan did not. Yep.
You have Sam Shoemaker, who, of course, ever since BKFC won, he had a lot of pressure put on him because of that
bar was set too high,
right?
because of that 18-second knockout.
Right. And I think there were a couple fights that, not that he performed bad by any stretch of the imagination, but just
he didn't push that pace. He didn't push that. Yeah, right.
It wasn't the same as that first performance that we knew him from.
Not at all.
I think it kind of bothered him, like maybe like wore on him a little bit.
Well, he was on the outs and he knew it.
He knew it.
He did know that, and he knew that he had to make some changes to his strategy.
His last couple performances, and especially against Bobo,
different fighters.
It was that adrenaline shot that I think he needed. Right, that performance was that adrenaline shot he needed, and I think we're going to see a peak Beltran against a peak Shoemaker.
And that's intriguing, isn't it? That's
and it's something because if we would have had this fight 2 years ago, obviously I still would have wanted to see it, but to see where they're at,
I'm glad that we're seeing it now. I'm actually glad that we're seeing it now, because after 3 years have passed, and both of them were there since day one. After all these 3 years have passed, they're where they need to be.
Yeah.
See, if we had gotten that fight earlier, I don't think they would have been where they need to be. Now
it probably wouldn't be the same fight that we're going to get.
No, not at all. The fight we're going to get now is going to be leagues better, is going to be miles better than what we would have gotten if they had matched up 2 years prior. If they had matched up 2 years prior, we wouldn't have gotten a very good outing from them, because somebody's game would be on and somebody's would be off.
Right.
I think both of them are on, so that's why I think it's going to be a barn burner. And I think Sam is looking for blood, and I think Joey is this new calm and collected world champion attitude.
Joey's looking to cement his legacy. He told me straight up last time I talked to him extensively was, he wants to have 5 more fights, and that's it. He wants to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, he wants to retire as the undefeated world heavyweight bare knuckle champion, which probably will never happen again if that does happen.
And better believe he's taking it very fucking seriously.
Very seriously.
Like this is the whole thing when he was in Belfast and when he was in the barns, and it was really cool, seeing him come in there, because I think he really took it to heart. Being in there around, just where John L. Sullivan stood and trained, and him being in there, I think it just goes.
We don't know that, Bear. I know that you're saying write it down. I know that you're saying write it down, but we're seeing a different fighter in Shoemaker this time. And when you see a different fighter in Shoemaker, it's not someone to write off.
Yeah. I will not. Well, you'll never see me make an official prediction on air. I'll put
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Honestly.
I'll never do it.
Yeah.
Catch me at the bar. I might make a prediction. On air, I won't make a prediction.
It's not the best thing right now, but you're absolutely right. You catch us at the bar over there at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino, we'll probably have something more along the lines of a prediction. But right now, no. Right now, it's just about talk, speculation, and big what ifs.
Well, you know what, too? I think at the end of the day, I think people rely too many analysts. Everybody
thinks they're a fucking analyst, just like everyone thinks that they're a food critic for
like making like predictions and stuff, and it's great. I know people who, a lot of MMA reporters, they go, well, my picks are, I'm 80% win-loss rate on my picks. Like, I don't really give a fuck. Or like, I don't really care. That's not impressive to me.
I'd rather you talk about the fight than hear who you think who's gonna win. I'd rather I don't mind an
Short
analysis.
of you doing it to make money,
Yeah.
I don't give it. Like if you're like a professional bettor, like okay, that's impressive.
Well, no, that's
Otherwise,
different.
I
That's
don't really
different.
give a shit.
That's
I'm
different.
just saying.
If you're a straight
know.
up professional fucking fight gambler, then that's completely different because then you're really looking for the algorithms necessary in order to put it together and get yourself a winner. But if you're a fight analyst, I'd rather you break down the fight rather than give a shit about
and
what who your pick is.
And mind you, I'm not talking about like a casual conversation like, oh man, I think so. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the people, like most of these people who I'm referring to are more, like I said, the some of the analysts. It's not really even so much bare knuckle. It's more so much. No, it's not at you, Bear. Trust me. No, it's not. That's not a comment at you. That's more
the
like
problem. Very small pool.
It's more analysts. Like I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, man. Like MMA reporters and shit like that, where like they it's like it's a badge of honor. Like, oh well, I picked every Bellator UFC fight. I've done the picks, and I'm 83% and like it's like this. I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. I just think it's weird. Not weird. It's just a weird bad badge of honor. I don't know.
Yeah. Once again, sitting on your biscuit, not having to risk it, just like
right. I just don't.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. You get it.
Are you saying let's move in or let's move on?
I think he's saying let's move on. He's right.
You want to move in, Bear?
He wants to move in. Let's move in, Bear.
Bear's moving in on Josh. Ooh.
Hey, Bear.
Ooh.
Hey, Bear.
Man, I think Josh wants to tame that bear.
Wait a minute. Who's the bear? Are you the bear because your name is Bear, or am I the bear?
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
I mean, I can cook, but I don't cook like regularly.
See what you fucking started, Bear. See what you started with a fucking typo with us. One fucking typo, and then all of a sudden he's making plans. He's making fucking plans. He's probably thinking
about it.
He's thinking about. I mean, seriously, Josh is thinking about. Okay, how much am I going to have to put down on a new apartment?
See,
what kind of furniture am I going to see? That's what he's doing. He's already doing
it. He's thinking about it. But no, there's some killer fucking fights, and also too. They announced don't forget too Hart and Jenny Savage. That's official for 19.
I kind of expected that one
for 19 in Tampa
with Savage's little, hissy fit break in. Apparently this is something that people love to do in their moment of glory. They like to have their little break in and such. We saw that at Britain's post-fight interview. So a lot of people didn't know who Jenny Savage was because she only had the one fight. So a lot of people didn't necessarily know what it was. And Britain can handle that and such. But as far as the fight itself, well, Jenny Savage, the last time that she was in there was of course with Sheena Starr. Yep. And, she outboxed Sheena Starr. She outpunched Sheena Starr. Yep. But Jenny, the only thing I have to say is that this is a different Britain Hart. This is Britain Hart 3.0. This is a Britain.
She's on 4.0 now.
Oh, she's on 4.0. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's on 4. She's on 4.0, which means she's going to be 5.0 by the time that she gets to you. She's training religiously with the world heavyweight champion of BKFC, who's probably giving her a plethora of bare knuckle advice that you can't get anywhere else. So this is, I hate to say it, this is an uphill battle for Jenny. This is definitely an uphill battle for Jenny, but she is a fighter, and fighters always come across this kind of bridge to where the crossing of the bridge is that much higher. So.
Yeah, no, agreed. I mean, it's definitely going to be a huge step up in competition.
It's huge. I know.
You can't Jenny Savage, and
I know it is. It's huge. It's
you know what? Maybe she rises to the occasion. I'm not saying, like I said, I will never take away anything from anybody because anything can fucking happen. It's going to be good. It's going to be a big test for Jenny. And it's going to be a test for Britt too. I don't want to make it seem like that, it's just going to be a
I never said it was going to be a
steamroll kind of situation.
No. This isn't a squash match. I'm not saying that it is going to be a squash match. However, when you're dealing with somebody that has this personality shift that Britain has had, you have to take that into accountability.
Sure. She's dangerous. She's dangerous right now because her, obviously, she has a huge heart when she fights, right? But I think now
she's never been finished in a bare knuckle fight.
Her confidence because of that win.
She got stopped because of a doctor stoppage, but she's never been finished. And look at the two people who beat her.
Right, Beck and Christine.
Exactly.
Of course.
But neither one of them finished her.
And with her riding off of this win off of Paige, you have to imagine her confidence it's fucking through the roof right now.
It's paramount.
And there's fighting a fighter when their confidence is up there with their training, their work ethic and their training and who they're training with and their determination. When all that shit's all in a line, man, that makes them pretty fucking dangerous. And I think Britain she's in that place.
But then again, Jenny can be that same, but Jenny can be just as dangerous as that because Jenny knows that she has a lot to gain by beating the fighter that beat Paige Van Zandt in her debut. That's a hell of a resume asterisk. That's a hell of a resume asterisk.
She could very well, if she beats Britain, especially in an impressive fashion, like finishes her, she could easily steal that momentum.
Well, not easily. She will. She will steal it. She
would steal that momentum and ride that wave, and who the hell knows, where that's going to go after that.
I'm interested to see how Pearl's going to gravitate towards bare knuckle. I know this is something that she's wanted to do for some time. I've talked to her about it previously because, what she's been doing in between fighting, she's been doing fantastic work as a commentator, as a post-fight interviewer. She's been, cutting her teeth and, dipping her toes into the on-air talent side of the fight game. And she's been doing a fantastic job. She's got some stuff coming up, I know, before that, but now she gets the opportunity to take the gloves off. And with her following, I mean, her social media following alone, I mean, it follows her anywhere she goes, and it's almost as impressive, if not more impressive, than Paige Van Zandt. Pearl's got a big following. Pearl's got a huge online following, so there's going to be a lot of interesting eyes on the BKTV app for this fight over Charissa Zagala, but I still think that this is not going to be an easy fight for Pearl in any stretch of the imagination because we have seen Charissa push to the absolute limit. We have seen Charissa covered from head to toe in blood. We know she can take it.
There's also that, Howie. We do know Christine is fighting in July in Tampa. We haven't heard anything officially. Now
we have not had a released opponent as of yet.
I have heard little birdies, but I'm not going to say.
Yeah, we don't do birdies on here, but
I'm not going to do little birdies. But I have heard some interesting choices and some interesting names, and if it's true.
You never know, Howie, they could be dropping something in our lap that we didn't even expect, or it could be the most obvious choice. We don't know. It's all hearsay right now. It's hearsay, speculation, man.
I don't know shit. Hearsay. I don't know shit.
But we'll see. But
it'll be interesting because that card, 19, because you already have, of course, Paige and Ostovich, right?
Yep.
Now we know that Britain and Savage, and then Christine. I almost said it. Christine versus whoever the
You look like you're bursting at the seams. You want to say something.
Christine versus whoever the hell it is.
Howie, it may be signed. It's just not announced. We don't know that. We don't know that yet. It could be signed. They just may have put the kibosh and maybe put a non-disclosure on until the company's ready to release that on social media.
Shit. Hearsay. I don't know shit.
We don't know yet, Howie. But I think Josh has heard some convincing talk. He's got his dimples are out in full effect. Like he's like,
lock away the key. You'll never hear me say it.
I'm not worried about you saying it. I'm worrying about your dimples popping out of your fucking face because he's like, oh, I want to say it. I want to say it.
Don't you say the word dimple when you talk to me.
Okay. Your fucking cheeks. How's that?
All right. She
No,
said nothing yet.
but wow, man. Episode 51 just coming at you only days after episode 50. And in my opinion, our best show ever. Definitely our best show ever to round off episode number 50. So much was happening at that show, and it was funny. It was unpredictable. It was in your face. You know, it had a little bit of everything.
It really did, and man, I can't wait. Hell, maybe we can time it out so episode maybe 100 takes place at the next Hall of Fame. Who knows? I'm just saying.
I doubt that, but it'd be interesting to see. You know, that would mean that there would have to be certain weeks that we'd have to, you know, deprive all of our wonderful fans of our nonsensical ravings.
Well, no, that would only mean that. So if we just assumed it was exactly 1 year away, that's, you know, 50. That's 50 shows. That's 50 weeks.
No, I know. I mean, that's not too far fetched. It's not too far fetched to think that we can't hit episode 100 for the 2022.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
We're not making any predictions. I mean, once again, hearsay, speculation. That's where we are on that. That's no problem there. But no, all kinds of exciting stuff coming up, guys. BKFC 18, BKFC 19. Some additional information released about that. Of course, today the 3-year anniversary of the first BKFC 1.
Lots
we just
of
had
stuff this past week.
It really was. It's quite the loaded fight week. And so much still to come throughout the year. There's going to be all kinds of surprises. There's going to be all kinds of signees and we have just reached the halfway point of the year. We've still got 6 more months coming your way of ridiculous bare knuckle action, plus also what we're bringing to you here at Loudmouth Central. It's just never going to stop. I don't think so. I think that Loudmouth Fisticuffs, at first, we had no idea where we're going with this. We thought, honestly, at first we thought maybe it was just like a little joke. Maybe it was just like a little, something that we were throwing around. But then things started to materialize. Josh started becoming tolerable. He was so intolerable the first time around because there were times that I actually thought that he was like, Jeff, you're hurting my feelings. Jeff, I don't want you to say this about me, or I don't want you to say that about him or her. Oh, and I'm keeping it real. I never shut the fuck up. And Josh is very good at keeping quiet.
AKA having patience.
Oh, patience. I see. So there's patience with good entertainment. Is that right?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm winking at you right now. Sure.
Sure.
Making it too obvious for our audience. But what else you got, bro?
No, I was just gonna say I know where you're going, but no, we appreciate you guys. Once again, please like and share and subscribe, and please give the page a follow if you haven't yet. So many of you, Josh did get SB to pay him.
SB,
yes.
Thinking I'm not? You think I'm not going to know what you're talking about, Scott? I mean,
yeah. So we took care of that. Everything is good.
Yeah.
It was the transaction was successful. The briefcase was delivered. The football was delivered.
Football. Okay, yes, the football did hit the end zone.
Listen, we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone so much. And I just can't say it enough. But more than ever, we need the followers.
No,
we need to pump this page up. We got to pump this stuff up.
We didn't want a guest this time around because today was just really more on a recap, talk to you guys about our experience and what was happening. Next Loudmouth Fisticuffs, you can be assured We'll be back in the saddle with a guest. We've only had so many guests on, and we're digging it so far because we're not really trying to go for a question and answer format with our guests. We're just inviting them into our madness. And I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Stop doing the white man's overbite. It's not doing anybody. Yeah. Oh God. Now he's saying naughty, naughty. Come here. Come hither. Nobody wants to come hither.
Are we going to do a post-fight show after the Mayweather card?
Melanie, I'm not too sure.
I mean, we'll probably definitely talk about it next week.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. We certainly could try to talk about it, but it'd be nice, but I got to go out of town. So, if anything, we can definitely touch base on it. We were planning either Thursday or Friday at latest next week. Because unfortunately, like I said, I have to go out of town for work, so can't talk about it too much and everything.
Well, I could always bring Scott back in as a co-host spot for episode 52.
And at that note, we're at 90 minutes, so I think that's a good time to cut it off. Episode number 51. I'm Mr. Live Worldwide, as always, Jeff Houston, and the guy over there is a guy who's got terrible ideas. And the guy who actually said that Scott Burt looked good in my Kangol hat, well, he was 100% wrong, because we obviously know who looks best in that. Hopefully, once again, say a prayer for my Kangol hat. Hopefully he did not track COVID-19 from that decrepit head of Scott Burt. So we thank you very much. Episode 51 is now in the books. Guys, whatever you got to do to make yourself happy, find your happiness in any way possible, and we'll see you episode 52 here at Loudmouth Central. We are done.